V'haya kisavoy el haaretz. We have a rule we learn in Maseches Megillah, Daf Yud. The word v'haya always denotes simcha. In v'haya el l'shon simcha. V'haya kisavoy el haaretz says the Or Chaim HaKodesh because there is no greater simcha than coming to Eretz Yisrael. That's why the pasuk says ki v'haya kisavoy el haaretz. It could have said kisavoy el haaretz v'haya l'shon of simcha. You're coming to Eretz Yisrael. That should give you tremendous simcha. If that's the case, we should ask, how come is it brachos, daf, hey, we learn. Reb Shimon Bar Yochai says there are 3 gifts HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave to Klal Yisrael, and they are acquired through Yisurim. Those gifts are Eretz Yisrael, Torah, Olam Haba. So if there's lashon of simcha v'haya kisavo el haaretz, there's no greater simcha than coming into Eretz Yisrael. Or Chaim HaKodesh brings the pasuk azimah leschok pinu l'shoneinu rina simcha gila ditza chedva ava simcha. So why does it have to be acquired through Yisurim? The Michtav Me'Eliyahu says an unbelievable thing. A guy makes aliyah. He comes from Chutz La'aretz. We're not going to mention names. And he comes here, and suddenly, Chidushei Torah start flowing out of him. Why? Baba Basa Kuf Nun Ches. Avira Eretz Yisrael Machkim. The air here makes one wiser. So he looks back at all his chaverim that are left behind, and he can become arrogant. So to balance things out, the Kodesh Baruch Hu gives him a little Yisurim. So Chalila, he's not going to become arrogant. All the new Chidushim, the new acquired wisdom. It's so easy to tap into wisdom here because the air here makes one wiser. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives him a little Yisurim, and that balances things out. Somebody once came to Reb Steinman, and he was telling him, you know, my father stopped everything in the middle of life. He left everything behind. He dropped it all. And he decided to start learning. And he's sitting and learning, and he was sure Reb Steinman is going to be so impressed with this information. Reb Steinman looks at him, yeah. And he says, the Rebbe is not impressed. I'm telling you, my father left everything. Mamish left everything. He had a good career, very good job. He left everything, and he just decided to sit and learn. And Reb Steinman looks at him, and he says, you're saying that he left everything? He left nothing. Now he has everything. I think the same can apply to Eretz Yisrael. Sometimes the guy comes here, makes aliyah, and he tells everybody, his friends, he also tells himself, you know what I left behind? You know what I left? I had not a house, not an apartment. I had an estate. I had 17 cars, 5 saunas. What? You know what? I left everything behind to come to Eretz Yisrael. Rebbe, you left nothing. Now you have it all. The question is, what's your perspective? What's the prioritization? Now you have it all. You know, people used to come to the house of Reb Chaim Kanievsky from all over the place. Bnei Brak, in the middle of the summer, is hot. It's boiling. Very humid. And some rich people came and they saw Reb Chaim sitting and schwitzing and learning, and they wanted to donate air conditioning for the house of Reb Chaim. And for many, many years, Reb Chaim said no. He refused all the years. Why? Because Reb Chaim holds from the Chumrah of the Chazon Ish, which is widely accepted in Bnei Brak, that one doesn't use electricity on Shabbos in Eretz Yisrael. Electricity here is produced by Jews, for Jews. The Chazon Ish holds you can't use it. Outside Bnei Brak, not so accepted, but in Bnei Brak and other places, people use a generator. They don't use electricity on Shabbos. So Reb Chaim said the whole week is going to be so geschmack, it's going to be great. But on Shabbos, since I don't use electricity, I won't be able to use the AC. I'll be more bitzar on Shabbos than weekdays. Thank you very much, not interested. It's the hashkaf of an Adam Gadol. The last few years, they connected that house to a generator, so Mimele was able to have an AC. When they brought the AC, Reb Chaim commanded to write on it a sentence. Mazgana de Reb Asi and Reb Ami. The Mazgan, the AC, of Reb Ami and Reb Asi. Reb Ami and Reb Asi, they didn't have AC. Back then, they didn't have any AC. What is he talking about? What's that? Two ways to understand it. In Masechet Ksubis Daf Kuf Yud Beis, Chazal tell us, Chazal tell us a lot over there about the love that the Amoraim, Tanaim and Amoraim had for Eretz Yisrael. One of the stories over there, Kuf Yud Beis Amud Aleph, the end, Kuf Yud Beis Amud Beis, Chazal say about Reb Ami and Reb Asi, when they used to teach a shir, and they would sit outside, and it would be so hot, the sun would be right on them and the Talmidim, so they would move to a shaded place. So Chas v'Shalom, one of the Talmidim is going to say, wow, it's so hot in Eretz Yisrael. When it would be a little chilly, they would tell the Talmidim, let's move to where it's sunny, so maybe we're not going to feel, oh, it's too cold in Eretz Yisrael. They didn't want to Chalila have any negative emotions towards Eretz Yisrael. So Reb Chaim is saying, let's write on the AC, this is the AC of Reb Ami and Reb Asi. In other words, we don't want Chalila to have any negative emotions about it. So, oh, it's so hot here. We need the AC. This is the AC of Reb Ami and Reb Asi. That's one way to understand it. Another way, Chulin Pei Daled Amud Beis. Reb Ami and Reb Asi command the person, Le'olam, always. Should a person eat less than what he can afford? You can afford a steak dinner every day? You don't need to. You should dress according to what you have. But you should honor your wife and your household members with more than what you have. Says Reb Chaim, I don't need the AC. I've been getting along very well for 80 years without it. I can live without it. In fact, Reb Chaim always used to say, the first 5 minutes when you start learning is when it's hard. But once you delve into the sugya, you don't even feel the heat. So Reb Chaim says, I don't need it. But what about my wife? You know what the size of their kitchen was? I don't know what car you're driving, but I'm telling you, it doesn't make a difference what car you're driving. Your car is probably bigger than the kitchen of Abraham Kanievsky, and he raised 8 children there and half of Bnei Brak. Because anytime somebody gave birth, all the kids came to their house. This house is it's a chesed factory. So in this tiny little house with an oven, in all the years there wasn't even room for the refrigerator in the Chaim's kitchen. And they refused to do some renovations and make the place bigger because why do we need it? And people come here, what are they going to say? This is what's important to the Kanievskis. Only after the Rebbetzin passed away, so they extended the size of the kitchen to allow the fridge to be in that room, in the same room, in the kitchen, instead of being in the living room. Mimele says Reb Chaim, I don't need the AC. But Reb Ami and Reb Asi commanded me to honor my wife, my household members with more than what I have. Mimele, this is the AC of Reb Ami and Reb Asi.